everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Magnificence, a very, very special episode that we're all very excited about and very, very scared of. A certain battle shall commence this episode and last who knows how long, and the consequences are who knows what. But I can tell you this right now as a secret between me and you. All my players, plug your ears. Me, you, and the audience. The consequences are gonna be bad. As always, before we properly get into things, just a quick shout out to Sarson Games for the sourcebook that we use all throughout this campaign. You all know the drill by now. I talk about them every time because I love this sourcebook. It holds a deep, deep place in my heart. Oracles of Agra by Sarson Games. Please go check it out. It is very fun with some very fun content. And it's been a while since we've said hi to our players. So why don't we do that before we launch into our recap, just to delay the inevitable battle that shall commence here this day even further. So I'm gonna go ahead and call on them like a substitute teacher, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with our dear friend Winter.
Hello, everyone. I am Mistress Winter, she, her. I am playing Suda Unchained. At least until we find out what happened to her sister. And Suda's very angry. So rage will be the order of the day.
Let's go ahead and go on and say hi to Grace.
Hello, I'm Grace, she and they, please. I will be continuing to play Caradwyn, the elven cleric who has no more secrets. That's it. We're done with secrets, guys.
I believe you wholeheartedly. There's nothing else going on there. Let's say hi to Andy.
Hi, my name's Andy. I play the stinky simpleton Olwyn Tanner. The air is tense and so are my shoulders.
Cannot relax. Last but certainly not least, let's say hello to Rosie.
Hi, my name is Rosalie. Please feel free to call me Rosie or whatever you'd like. I play Sage Xenius, and I am not scared for this combat. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. This is gonna be fine.
I'm gonna get you so hard. You may be noticing that, yes, we have been missing Emma, unfortunately, for a few sessions. We love you and miss you, Emma. We are also, unfortunately, missing our good friend Jacqueline today. Alina is still here and kicking, but just for the next couple sessions, we will not have the lovely Jacqueline in our company, but she will be back very, very soon, as will Emma. I promise you that. Their stories still must be told. But with that little reintroduction to our party here, why don't I get into a quick recap about our last session? The beginning of our last session had Alina having a conversation with her reflection, a strange conversation of cryptic warnings and phrases, words that Alina maybe not quite understands yet. In the quiet of the party's rest, the reflection moves forward and pulls herself out of the mirror, her form disappearing, instead leaving behind a copy of Alina's own armor. Slightly different, just enough to be noticeable. As the morning comes, the party continues to travel through Mor Akkros, getting closer and closer to the very center. The vines becoming thicker, the crystals growing more and more numerous. Soon the entire streets bathed in that eerie red glow. The vines soon move on their own accord, clearing the way in front of the party and closing back behind them, almost keeping track of them here within this city, before finally, as they reach the last staircase entering the heart of the city, forming a wall in front. Olwen interacting with the vines, they move forward and crawl up their arm onto the bow, transforming the bow into something else. Undeterred by the interruption, by the continuous warnings and pleads to turn back, the party moves forward, stopping to rest once more before finally reaching the heart, finding an old, abandoned armory long forgotten here in the depths, where they find some rather useful items to aid them in their journey ahead. Well rested, the party moves finally to the center, to the heart of Mor Akkros, where they find a grand cathedral covered in vines. Invited in by the strange voice of this creature that has been haunting them, they find a woman's decayed, mummified body. A corpse. The corpse. suspended in the air by the greenery and vines, insisting that with the party here they will reveal her hiding spots, that the hungry one in the smoke will find her. The one who ever hungers will find her. The party tries to engage in conversation with this creature, tries to ask questions, but the corpse, panicked, pulls the doors closed and begins to pull the cathedral down around her. And so now, here with the party, with the ground shaking and the ceiling beginning to crumble, the crystals glowing brighter and the vines beginning to constrict, I will please ask everyone to roll initiative for me.
18 from Carrie.
13.
A nice solid 10.
6.
As we go to our battlefield here, let me describe it a bit for audience's sake, since this is such an interesting battle we have. We stand in the large room of a dilapidated, abandoned cathedral. The ceiling is several feet high, at least 50, 60 approximately. There are large clusters of those red crystals, sharp and jagged, gathered in the corners along the walls, around the floor, near where the corpse floats suspended in the air. The corpse, about 30 feet off of the ground, suspended by the vines connected to both the above ceiling and the surrounding walls. Below the corpse is a small platform, only about an extra 5 feet off the ground. So not very tall, just a small platform one may stand on to address the clergy. Far behind the corpse, we see some of the largest clusters of these red crystals. Somewhat buried within these crystals. Hard to tell if it is an old podium, altar, some sort of large, dark gray, rectangular structure that does seem to have a seam on it. Our party is standing at the entrance, approximately 30 feet away from the corpse, an additional 30 feet as she is suspended in the air. And as the area around you begins to crumble and shake, some small pieces of rock and stone beginning to fall, it is not just the ceiling that begins to split, but the ground. As all of you see, emerging from the bases of the crystal clusters, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different corpse creatures begin to claw their way free. Some of the headless parasite things that you have encountered before, the skittering bone spiders, the wispy husks, all of them crawling free, surging forward in response to the corpse's silent call. This is the battlefield you all see before you. First things first, I need everyone in the party to make me a dexterity saving throw as the ceiling begins to collapse.
18 plus 1 for a 19, thank God.
14 for Olwen.
16 for Caradwin.
And a dirty 20 for Suda.
And Alina succeeds, and Leto is also just fine. It's not the hardest save. Everyone does take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, though. As these rocks continue to fall, let's see who it will be. Olwen. You see the vines that you have so easily communicated with this entire time here in Mor Akkros. As you move and quickly duck out of the way of these falling rocks, you see and you turn and see them react to you. They move and crawl across the ground quickly and go directly for you. My friend, please go ahead as the corpse uses her first layer action. And make me a strength save.
22.
22. That is a success. You successfully prevent these vines from wrapping around your body and keeping you very, very still. All right. Now it is Carrie's turn.
Caradwin immediate quick threat assessment. There are so many bodies in here. There is one body who is the primary problem, so we are focusing on the primary problem until someone tells me otherwise. I think Carrie is going to sort of reach deep within themselves, having recently felt a little more empowered. Thank you for the level up, Nightmare King. And I'm going to bonus action spiritual weapon. And I'm going to summon a ghostly, incorporeal, slightly blurry at the edges, enormous knife. Yeah, we'll go with it. We talked about what her spiritual weapon would be. It's a knife, you guys. Work with what you know. So I'm going to bonus action spiritual weapon in the air next to the corpse.
So yeah, you summon your spiritual weapon up in the air right next to the corpse.
Yes. Right next to the corpse, and since she's 30 feet above the platform, which is 5 feet, so she's about 35 feet away from me, as an action, I would like to summon the shadows from whence I have come, but sort of in the reverse. And I would like to Sacred Flame the corpse in the air. Dex save of 15.
That is a failure on her part.
7. She takes 7 radiant damage.
Wonderful. You cast Sacred Flame on her, and you see it does strike true. You see as her mummified body it's not her body that moves, it's the vines that move tighter around her in response. And you see some of the vines are burned away. It does not quite strike her immediately. After Carrie, next up in the initiative, we have our couple of corpse parasites around the battlefield that are going to go next. We have one directly to the right of our party that is closest, and that one is going to move directly towards... No, this one's actually going to stay right where it is. It is the one over to the left, much further away from the party, that is going to move in closer. 5, 10 feet closer. And they are both going to use their ranged attacks to try to grab some motherfuckers. All right. First one misses Carrie miserably, only rolls a 10. Second one that is moving forward also misses terribly. These two rolled badly. So no one is ensnared by the corpse parasites as they move forward. Those inky tendrils coming from the stump of their neck fail to meet their mark. That is all they can do right now. They did bad their turn. Suda, you're up next.
So, seeing as the corpse is a little too high to get into melee with, and seeing these undead creatures are closing in on the rest of the party, Suda's rage ignites. That radiance, that black flame coursing along her arms. She turns with her sword and charges at the corpse parasite just south of her.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you go for the one closest to Carrie and Olwen. Perfect.
Yes. Ooh, 18.
18 does hit.
13. Two-handed swing across as she charges in.
Perfect. Yeah. You lay a mighty blow into this creature. It definitely takes the hit. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's my turn.
Okay. Perfect. After Suda, we have some of our other creatures about the area reacting. We see all of our little scuttling corpse spiders begin to move in closer. They're a lot more spread out than everyone else. So we see 3 that are deeper into the room, sort of closer to the corpse in the center. They turn towards the ground and begin to burrow and do disappear into the ground. The 2 that are closer to the entrance near where the party is move in. The one closest to the parasite that Suda just attacked is going to go for Suda. And the other one on the battlefield closest to the party goes to the next closest person, which unfortunately is Alina. Damn, these guys are rolling bad today. The one for Alina misses badly. And the one for Suda misses even worse. Holy shit. All right. That's it for the corpse spiders. Sage, you're up next.
Sage is being menaced by a husk here next to her, but there's a couple clusters both to her left and her right of these various undead creatures all clustering around the party as a whole here. You see that almost invisible heat shimmer-esque skin that always surrounds her of her arcane ward and mage armor. Again, she reaches out and it separates from her, and it almost seems to keep its form this time on its own rather than attaching itself to somebody else. And you see behind the corpse parasite that is nearest to Suda here, something at the heart of that outline, a rip in space opens, and suddenly void fills that form. I am casting Summon Shadow Spawn. So, Sage will hunker down where she's at for her own turn here. I used my action for a spell, so I can't use my bonus action spell. I don't think it's a good idea to try to move through this crowd of beings. Those standing nearest to the shadow spawn, you just feel just a weight of just dread and sadness about it. This does have the weight of sorrow, so any creature that starts its turn within 5 feet of the spirit has its speed reduced by 20 feet until the start of that creature's next turn. And it is going to reach out and make an attack on the corpse parasite that is nearest to Suda here. 15 plus 8 to hit.
15 plus 8 definitely hits.
8 damage total. But you know what? We're just getting started. And that'll be my turn.
For this corpse parasite you attack, this is the same one Suda attacked, so it already took a pretty good hit. You see this shadow spawn you summoned raking claws across the parasite does actually rend it asunder. There's a lot more of these creatures in one space than you saw before. You have to guess maybe they're a little stretched thin. So this corpse parasite is gone. Olwyn, you are up next.
I think Olwyn, sort of taking a scope of the situation as these things begin to like bury underground and move around, he's going to turn to his left where he sees a sizable cluster of them along with the one currently attacking Alina. He is going to reach into his pack to grab a handful of seeds as he digs his arm into the ground, and a different set of vines begins to creep its way. They're smaller vines, sort of like creeping their way out of the ones existing in the space, clearly intruding in a place where they're not supposed to be, as I attempt to entangle the 3 towards the left of the party. It is a strength saving throw. It is a 20 feet square.
So we have in that cluster behind you by your party, we have 1 spider, 1 husk, 1 parasite. 14. Spider fails. So spider is entangled. Husk also fails. Husk is entangled. And the parasite succeeds.
As the vines creep out of the ground, Olwyn is actually going to move forward towards the corpse. I'm going to use my newly obtained climbing speed to ignore the stairs. As Olwyn is sort of moving forward, climbing onto the altar, the skin around his body begins to harden to a rock-like consistency as I use Merge with Stone to cast Blade Ward as a bonus action. And getting closer towards the corpse now, is there anything that's made more obvious about the physiology of how this works? Because I know before we got here, we kept talking about how do the crystals, the corpses, the plants, how do these all connect? Now that we're finally in a space where all three of them are present, do we see a more obvious connection or no?
Go ahead. Give me an investigation check just in the midst of battle to cast a glance around the room and see what else you can connect now that you're here.
No, that's a natural one, so...
There's a lot of yelling, there's a lot of banging, there's a lot of rumbling. It's hard to focus.
He's trying to think, and his brain's like pumping with just the gotta live, gotta live, gotta live, gotta live.
Yes. All right. Anything else from Olwen?
No, that's it. That's everything. Bonus action movement. That's it.
All right, our husks are going to go next. The one that is entangled, since they are basically made of paper mache, you see it essentially compresses in on itself and slips actually deeper into the entanglement and disappears from sight. We have a husk far ahead that is going to use its full movement, quickly darting through the air. It ends up floating just at the platform, just near our friend Olwen. You know what? Since it's right there, it is going to attack. That along with... So we have the one husk that disappeared in the entanglement, we have one that moved forward and is sharing the platform with Olwen now, and one that is right next to Sage, both of which are gonna do their thing. So first attack on Sage is going to be a 13.
13 misses. Thank you for the cloak of protection.
Yeah. Second attack on Sage is also gonna miss. God damn it! All right. Next one attacking Olwen. Jesus fuck, that's a nat 1. Second attack. God damn it, that's a 4. All right, they all miss.
I told you guys we didn't need to worry.
All right, Alina is next. She's just going to attack at the one corpse spider that is right next to her. She is standing right at Leto's side, who is pushed up against the front doors that have since closed. She's on his ass to try to look out for him. And Alina fucks up this corpse spider. You all see she whips out this rapier that she doesn't quite favor and just fucking goes ham on this corpse spider. Alina rolls max damage on her attack, and you see she, with such careful precision, jams the thin blade of the rapier deep into the center of this mass of bones and just mottled fabric that holds the corpse spider together and just fucking disintegrates it. Leto is at the very end. He's going to spend his turn crouched down, digging in his pack and trying to light torches. He does not this turn. I'm basically rolling luck checks for our man. He can do nothing else. We see the ground begins to split and rumble once again as the vines tighten around the petrified body of the corpse. With a creak, turns her head just slightly as the ground splits once again, and inky black tendrils come out of the hole in the ground as another corpse parasite is raised. All right. With the end of that, we are back to Carrie's turn.
All right, shit's popping off. Suda seems to have this specific instance down here at the corner kind of handled. I'm really not worried about her at this point. She's got some real angry vibes going on that I really believe in. So Carrie, standing at the corner of this platform, is going to sort of just vault up the 5 feet, you know, the one-handed sort of swing climb up, and I will take an attack on the husk that is next to Olwen. Sick. That's a natural 19 with whatever I add to that, so I assume that hits.
Absolutely it does.
Groovy! And then I'm gonna sneak attack. So that's 12 damage to the husk.
You slash through it with your blade, it just into bones and paper.
Love that. And then I will, for a bonus action, have my spiritual weapon take a swipe at the corpse. 19 total to hit.
19 does hit.
A potato damage roll, so that's 5 force damage. And yeah, that is Caradwin's turn.
Wonderful. You see every attack you aim towards the corpse. She has what is essentially this shield of these heavy vines around her. They are cutting and burning away the vines, but nothing has hit her yet. Okay, at the end of Carrie, we have the once again 2 corpse parasites, with the new one being just born. So one that is in the entanglement succeeded, so is going to it's just going to move forward one a bit closer to the platform, but has its reach and is going to reach for Carrie, who's directly attacking the corpse. Fucking finally. Yes, God, yes. So does in fact hit, does get you with a 22. You instruct your spiritual weapon to attack the corpse, and you make that note about the vines creating that shield. And it's as you make that note that you feel those tendrils brush against your shoulder, and as you turn to react, they suddenly wrap around your body and yank you from the platform. So you are moved closer to the corpse parasite, and it is going to do its attack. Is going to be 18 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Beautiful. So go ahead and make me a con save.
Oh, hell yeah. 23.
Beautiful. So you succeed. You take 3 points of slashing damage, and then you succeeded on the save, so you're going to have it and then have it again because you're also resistant, so it's going to be hardly anything probably. So you take 1 point of poison.
Fine.
Amazing. I love it. I love you guys being able to take these attacks and just be like, no. It's honestly my favorite thing. This next one's going to get Suda's ass. So the corpse parasite that was just born is going to move forward 5 and is going to try to grab onto Suda. Fails to latch onto you. So that is the end of the parasite's turn. Suda, you are up next. You have the one spider in front of you, and you have the parasite about 15 feet north of you that just failed to attack.
Yeah, that one's not bothering me right now. I think in the immediate, I could give 2 shits about the one attacking me. I'm more concerned about the corpse thing just south of me on Sage. So I'm going to turn and essentially leap to attack that again with a reckless attack. Coming down, my strike is true. And that is going to be a 28.
Yeah, you know what? That hits.
15 points of damage.
Yeah, you turn this thing into ribbons. It is gone.
Cleave it in twain as I come down. I am going to curse the corpse.
What are the details of this curse on the corpse?
Those, like, whispers, those other voices that whisper in the dark, that haunt Suda's dreams and speak of the time that she's in the dark when Naime was in the light. She channels them like a string of chain links, mental chain links that stretch up and wrap about the corpse, barbed and clinging, a promise that her rage will come to strike it down. And that will be my turn. As I just turn a blazing pair of eyes at it and wish it death.
Hell yes. At the end of your turn, we have our corpse spiders up next. You all see the ground once again split and break apart as the ones who before previously disappeared into the earth now re-emerge much, much closer this time. So you see the 3 of them bounding from the split rock, one appearing directly in front of Suda, one up on the platform with Olwen, another right in front of Leto. And all three are going to attack. The one on Suda misses, although you just reckless attacked, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Still misses. The spiders are not good. The one on Leto, it does hit Leto. Does 2 points of damage to Leto. The one on Olwen misses. Of course, the only one that hits the guy that has fucking villager stats. Sage, you are up next.
Sage flips her wand around, as you have seen her do many times. This good old chestnut, good old faithful. She looks at Suda, who's just finished swinging all the way through this husk that is collapsed to the ground next to her, and goes, grab on as fast as you can. She rips a hole in space. I am casting Vortex Warp to get Suda up with the corpse parasite.
You're throwing her through space.
Yes. I want you to grab onto those vines and fucking cut them, Suda.
Okay, all right. There is a moment where Suda is just trying to comprehend, like, through her rage, what's just about to happen. But when her feet are wrenched from the floor, initially she's like, what the fuck? Before she gets it and spins in midair to aim herself for the target.
Yes, it's almost Portal-esque. So this portal opens up next to you so you can leap through and you fall down. Hopefully, maybe the GM will allow us to let Suda make some sort of a dex check to, like, grab on instead of falling all the way to the floor.
Absolutely. I'll say go ahead and make me, whichever you prefer, acrobatics or athletics. That's such a cool use of the spell. I love it. You're gonna get on there. This just depends how well of a hold and how close.
That is a total of, I guess just 12.
You go to grab on. The vines do kind of have a mind of their own, so they do move away from you, trying to prevent you from getting a hold on. So you go a couple feet below, but you're basically at the feet. You grab on and they try to wriggle out of your hands, but you force them to stay still. You get a good hold, you tangle yourselves in these vines, you're a little bit below, but still within, like, melee distance of this corpse. And you are up there about 25 feet in the air, suspended with the corpse.
Love it.
Great. Wonderful. The force of gravity from this hole in space-time that Sage ripped pulls the shadow spawn closer to her, not all the way within melee range, but so that it is closer. It's pulled to the other side of the bone spider that was threatening it, putting it within 5 feet of the other bone spider that is nearby as well. Has either of these taken any damage yet that it is nearest to?
No, neither have taken any damage.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna roll to hit. 15 plus 8, 23, I think that is. 12 cold damage. And the two that are within 5 feet of it now will have their speed reduced when it comes to be their turn.
Yeah, the one you hit is annihilated. It explodes in the bones and dust.
And that is my 2 turns.
All right. Owen, you are up next, my friend.
Olwen, seeing more of these things sort of like pop up, is going to take a look at the one standing right in front of him. He's shifting his weight slightly as he dashes to the side, trying to break away from it. I'll take the hit if I can, if it takes the swing.
Yeah, for sure. It misses badly.
Sort of moving around the platform so he can get a clear shot, he notches an arrow and fires at the one in front of Leto. That is a 25 to hit.
Yeah. For sure.
That is 16 points of damage.
Yeah, you annihilate the one in front of Leto. It is gone.
As the first arrow flies, Olwen notches a second one and fires it at the one holding onto Carrie. This one is only 11, so I'm going to assume that one misses.
Yeah, that one does miss.
As he fires the 2 arrows, once again, he's going to refocus that hardening around his skin, he will turn to the corpse and try to call out, seeing how the situation is going. And he's going to say, please, this fight doesn't need to happen. We're here for answers. What is this thing that you're hiding from anyway?
You call out this question over the sounds of this occurring battle around you. And you see the corpse shrunken into the protection of the encasing vines, even more so with Suda on her fucking ass. You see the decayed, mummified face barely peeking out amongst the vines. And as you ask, what are you hiding from? You hear it inhale deeply. All of them! That's the end of your turn. We have our husks up next. They got annihilated. The one that had disappeared into the entanglement. Olwen, you see the edge of the entanglement just behind you. It comes darting out of the smallest gaps in the vines, appearing directly behind you, and it is going to make an attack. All right, so the first one is going to be 21 to hit. The second one is going to be 18.
Both of those will hit.
You're going to take 13 points of bludgeoning damage from both of those. And since both did hit you, it wraps its paper-like form around you and does grapple you. Go ahead and make me a con save now that you are grappled in its hold.
9.
I will absorb 10 hit points of this with my arcane ward.
Okay. You do absorb 8 points of necrotic damage. However, since you failed, Olwen, I'll tell you if it comes up, actually.
Ominous.
Alina is up next, and she is actually going to assist Leto. You guys hear flick, 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 and see the glow of firelight behind you, and the creatures that are left standing begin to shy away. So all of the remaining creatures, save for the newest corpse parasite that is a bit too far away, they are in the bright light of this torch. Any of you attacking any of these corpse creatures within the bright light, please do so with advantage. All right, and we will call that Alina's turn. And Leto is holding torches. That is his contribution. Top of the round, everyone, please again make me a dex save.
I got a 10, which I believe failed.
16 for Suda.
14.
Okay, great. And since I'm just grappled, I don't have disadvantage on that dex save, so that's a natural 20.
Everyone, please take 3 bludgeoning. Suda, you only take 1. Sage takes 6.
Okay, ward is gone for now. I took 4 damage to myself.
Got it. So lair action is actually going to apply to Suda this time. The vines that you're already holding on to begin to grab back. So please go ahead and make me a strength save.
That is a 23.
Yeah, they grab on and you feel them begin to like tighten around your limbs, but you just pull your like arms and legs free. You yank them free, ripping the vines out as you go. Just completely unstoppable against these.
Love that. Just pulling them off me. Don't fucking get your dead ass.
All right, Carrie, you are at the top of our round once again.
It's grappling me. I don't like that, so I'm gonna stab it. A 15 plus, so 21 to hit. And because I get advantage, I'm sneak attacking it. I'm rolling really well on the sneak attacks. 17 points of piercing damage.
Amazing. You lay into this thing.
It's still up. It hasn't disintegrated or let me go.
Not quite.
I will bonus action offhand attack. Fuck yeah. So that's 18 plus whatever. Fuck. Of course I rolled a 1 on that damage. So 4.
You take it down. I only had a couple left.
Thank God.
You annihilate one of the 2 remaining corpse parasites. The one remaining that is a bit further north to all of your party, Suda is 25 feet in the air and it cannot reach Suda, but it can reach Olwen. So this one is going to go up the stairs to the platform, standing just at the edge, is going to lash forward with its tendrils. Actually, it can reach both of you, actually. Not both of you meaning Olwen and Suda, both of you meaning Olwen and Carrie. So the tendrils lash forward and it wraps around the both of you. And it, once again, just yanks you forward, yanks you closer. So Olwen, whoo, baby. This is a nat 20.
Silvery barbs from Alina by chance?
Silvery barbs from Alina will absolutely come into play. Thank you for reminding me. So Alina in the back negates that crit. All right. It still hits, but it's not a crit. Make me another con save, Olwen. You are making this one with disadvantage.
That is 12 total.
All right, Olwen. Unfortunately, that is a failure, so you are going to take some damage and you are going to fall under the poisoned condition. So that is 7 points of poison damage, along with 7 more slashing. Olwen, you feel that inky black deep within your body. From where it's biting into the side of your neck, it just begins to spread, just like a freezing rot. You just smell mold and blood. It overtakes your body in an instant. Suda, my friend, you're up next.
So, Suda grabs a higher vine and pulls herself up level with the corpse, eyes still blazing. And I know that the corpse has previously said that Naime's elsewhere, but Suda doesn't believe that. At least in this just kill everything until she could find her sister kind of thing. And is just going to get real close and be like, give me back my sister, and drive the longsword up into the corpse with a nat 20.
Let's fucking go!
I love it. I love it. So thematic.
18. Do I double that or I just roll again?
Up. If you want to double that, or if you want to roll again, I'll leave that up to you.
I will just double it because that is a smooth 36 points of damage.
Hell yes. You raise this blade with a call for a lost sister. You plunge it into the withered, mangled body of the corpse. The vines go to move around, reinforce that shield she's essentially created for herself. And you feel the blade get like halfway stuck at first in this mess of vines. Like it doesn't quite hit, but just through just sheer rage and strength, you place your hand just on the pommel of your sword and just push it in slowly to get past that vine shield and actually make purchase on the corpse for the first time this battle. And you feel it push through that initial outer layer of the vines and then suddenly surge forward as you break through that outer barrier. And you hear not a fleshy squeal or the sound of blood beginning to flow, but just a crunch and a crumple as you enter into the withered body of the corpse with your blade. With your nat 20, You do destroy the vine shield. Please make me a wisdom save as you destroy the vine shield.
Oh, you found my only weakness.
That's why I'm so excited it's Suda doing this.
7.
Alina forgot to give advantage to someone with silvery barb. She would have given it to Suda since it's up there. I'll throw you a bone.
19.
19! Amazing! I think it's so much better that you got a higher number because it feels so much better when I tell you that a 19 fails.
Fucking DMs.
The joy that they got to give us hope and then snatch it away.
Anyways.
Really twisting that knife.
Suda, you're going to take 24 points of psychic damage,
Okay.
and you are stunned. So, incapacitated, cannot move, can speak only falteringly, automatically fail strength and dex saves, and attack rolls against you have advantage. That is the first thing that happens upon this shield break. Suda being the one to break the shield causes that psychic whiplash that you all see Suda immediately just head snap back, immediate kind of glaze over the eyes. You were hanging onto the vines, correct?
Yes.
Since you destroyed the vines, you do fall. So Suda takes that psychic whiplash. The vines are gone. Suda is pushed back. As Suda is falling, that rumbling that has been permeating through this cathedral this entire time grows louder and louder and louder. And you all see, almost in slow motion, as Suda is falling, the earth splits more and more. Deep crevices in the earth that break apart this remains of this cathedral into large chunks, further and further, creating nothing but rubble around you. Rocks, boulders fall. The corpse creatures that were remaining, they either are shrinking under the firelight or are hurt from your own attacks. The rocks take no mercy on them, fall on some of them. They take the damage as well. The corpse remains in the air, though the vines are gone. And amongst the deep rumbling that nearly drowns out all other noise, you hear her voice above it all, because it goes directly to everyone's heads. I told you not to give away my hiding spot. They find us if we make too much noise. I'm gonna roll some damage real quick for Suda hitting the ground. Just a couple d6s, just an extra 6 halves to 3 because you're still raging. In the blink of an eye, as Suda hits the ground, as the corpse finishes echoing in everyone's heads, the fissures in the earth created by this rumbling, by this deep, deep underground earthquake, it goes from complete darkness to light, almost. All of you feel a strange sensation come over your bodies. It feels like you're not physically present anymore. The vines, the glowing of the crystals, everything begins to fade all around you. It seems like the corpse is taking in a deep breath, taking in the attributes of the world around you and making it all disappear. Slowly but surely, you are all left on nothing but rubble floating in nothing. Your eyes on the corpse adjust as the environment shifts, and it makes you realize there's something about her that is now familiar. As she creaks and cracks and shifts, you realize that you're looking into the eyes of a friend. As you see a darkened, not quite right, sickening form Avelina Monson Siru, take over the visage of the corpse. Your friend no longer with you. Though you don't know what is real now in this strange, new, floating, shifting environment, that psychic lance that shot out and penetrated into Suda's mind seems to have spread far beyond. But you do know one thing. The corpse, whatever form she has taken now, does not look pleased. That is where we're going to end our session for today, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this fun little battle as we begin to enter.
Gee, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
I hope you're all having fun. I know I am. My little minion guys bought some time for a while, but you know, that vine shield had to go. I hope you'll join us next time, is all I have to say. Bye, guys!
Bye.
Help.
You guys are fine. It's fine.